To be very honest, I am a little excited about today's video because I think it's one of those very hot subjects that give me so much that give okay, it's one of those very hot subjects that give people a lot of icks. And I'm just happy that actually the Bible does give us an answer for the question. The Bible literally does give us an answer for the questions that we have. You know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about tithing. We're going to talk about tithing. Now, what is my understanding of tithe? My understanding of tithe is based on Malachi. Okay, let me just say what my understanding of tithing is. My understanding of tithing is it's 10% of what you make. So it's 10% of what you make. It could be in form of money, it could be in form of livestock, it could be in form of crop, just 10% of it. There was a time I listened to Diana's sister Mitch. There was a time I was listening to Mitch and Ian, and they were breaking down what tithe is. And they said that tithe is 10% of any money that you make. And they actually said, if, for example, you went to your uncle's and your uncle gave you 1,000 shillings, that is money you've made. You need to tithe on it. So it's not only in terms of from a living, it's also in terms of just money that was not there that you make. You need to tithe on it. Or livestock that was not there that is there, you need to tithe on it. It's like that. To be very, very honest, I do not know where the 10% came from. I at this point, and I've not looked it up. Maybe I should have, but I've not. I do not know where the 10% came from. All I know is that God expects us to tithe. Now, the big question that comes after tithing, people say, oh, you take your money to church to feed a human being. You're taking your money to church and then that pastor is driving, I don't know. You're taking your money to church and then I have an answer for you. In the book of First Corinthians, chapter 9, the whole chapter is talking about the rights of an apostle. Now, who's an apostle? In these times, an apostle is just someone who's spreading the word, right? And in verse 19, let's just start. This is so interesting. Let's start from verse 12 up chini. But we do not use this right. On the contrary, we put up with anything rather than hinder the gospel of Christ. Let's just do verse 13. Do you know that those who work in the temple get their food from the temple, and those who serve at the altar share in what is offered on the altar? Verse 14 says, in the same way, the Lord has commanded that those who preach the gospel should receive their living from the gospel. Then Paul proceeds to say, but I have not used any of these rights, and I'm not writing this in the hope that you will do such things for me. I would rather die than have anyone deprive me of this to boast. Meaning, he has chosen not to receive a living from the gospel. However, verse 14 clearly says that in the same way, the Lord has commanded that those who preach the gospel should receive their living from the gospel. So, your pastor and my pastor and every other pastor, any man that has been called to serve the Lord, needs food, they need clothing, they need school fees for their children, they need food on their table, And the word of God says, in the same way, the Lord has commanded that those who preach the gospel should receive their living from the gospel. So, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, they are receiving the living from the gospel. So, your tithe, your offering is meant to feed the apostles. Now, is it possible that people abuse this? Yes. The same way I'm supposed to pay taxes to the government and they abuse it. But it's none of my business when they abuse it. I've already done what I've done. Like, KRA will not come for me for not paying my taxes. So, what these people do with your tithe and your offering honestly should be none of your business. The most important thing is that you have obeyed. You've done what you're supposed to do. So, KRA is not coming for you. KRA meaning God above, aka God above, aka KRA. That's what I'm saying. So I'm just in a mood to ruffle some feathers. Because I know this is gonna ruffle some feathers, but honestly, it's right there. The answer that many of us have been looking for is right there. Pastors are supposed to get food and drink from, they're living from the gospel. And how they do that is tithe and offering. Paul decided he does not want to do that. But does that mean every person is supposed to decide the same thing Paul decided? No. No, it does not. He said he himself, but there is a command. But he is choosing to go a different way, because actually the reason why he's doing it is because he wants to say mimi si kuwai. Mimi si kuwai. Sababu he says, but I have not used any of these rights. And I'm not writing this in the hope that you will do such things for me. I would rather die than have anyone deprive me of this. But in short, he say, I want to say, I never ever made a living from the gospel. I did it with all of my heart. And, like he's saying that, but he says it is their right that because they are spreading the gospel, they are supposed to make a living from the gospel. Now, guys, honestly, even you, when you look at it genuinely, if someone is in church 24/7 because they want to be there for people who need guidance and counseling, people who are going through tough times, they are preparing for missions, they are like, this person doesn't have another job. They wake up to go to church every day to prepare for sermons, but above preparing for sermons, they are preparing for weddings, for funerals, for these guys actually do a lot. Where do they find food? Where do they find school fees for their babies? The gospel is their bread and butter. And the Bible, the Bible literally says that it is a command that those who preach the gospel should receive their living from the gospel. Sometimes I wish like I could or there was a deeper way to dissect this, but there is not. It's just there. It's right there. And it is what it is. Answered. Every question that this book gives answers. And it is so fascinating. It's so beautiful. Yeah, that's all. I just saw something interesting down here. Do you not know that in a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like a man running aimlessly. I do not fight like a man beating the air. No, I beat my body and make it my slave so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. Yo, guys. Ah, I have nothing else to say. I'll see you. See you soon. Bye. Just one more thing. A church is also an organization, so they have monthly, daily, annual expenses, and all of those things come from our tithe and our offerings.